At 7:18 p.m., the stage light came on by itself. Not the hallway lights, not the exit sign. The stage light, it snapped on above center stage while I stood alone in the school theater, holding my script binder against my chest. The auditorium was empty, every seat was dark. Then the red curtain moved, just a little, like someone behind it had shifted their weight. I told myself it was the air system. Then the stage microphone gave a soft pop. Feedback hissed through the speakers. A man's voice whispered, "Claire, your cue." I stopped breathing. There was a script page lying in the spotlight. My name was highlighted in yellow. I picked it up with shaking hands. The line underneath said, "Claire waits behind the curtain." That line was not in the play. My name is Claire Bennett. I was 18, a senior at Brookhaven High School in Western Pennsylvania. It was the last week before summer break. Everyone acted like school was already over, but we still had graduation and the senior showcase. I had been in drama club for 3 years. That theater felt more familiar to me than some classrooms. I knew which stage boards creaked. I knew which lights buzzed. I knew how the red curtain smelled like dust when you stood too close to it. That evening, rehearsal ran late. Miss Avery had us reset props, hang costumes, and run the final scene 3 times, because the sound cues kept missing. There was a small printer in the sound booth for last-minute script changes. Miss Avery used it all the time. By the time we finished, most people left fast. I realized I had left my script binder and hoodie backstage. Miss Avery was already locking the prop room. She told me to grab my things, turn off the stage light, and leave through the side exit. I thought it would take 5 minutes. It was still my school, and I thought I knew every dark corner of that theater. When I went back behind the curtain, my hoodie was gone. I had left it on a folding chair next to the costume rack. I was sure of that. But now it was hanging neatly between 2 old dresses from last year's musical. My script binder was underneath it, open. That bothered me more than the hoodie. I never left my binder open. The page on top was scene 4, the one we had rehearsed 3 times that night. But there was a new line printed under my name. Same font, same spacing, like it belonged there. Claire crosses to center stage and waits behind the curtain. I read it twice, then a 3rd time. I did not have a scene behind the curtain. I told myself it was a prank. Maybe Tyler from Tech Crew had printed it. Maybe someone thought it was funny because it was the last week of school. Then the stage microphone clicked on again. No voice this time. Just breathing slow close. I did not try the main auditorium doors. That felt too obvious. Instead, I went for the side exit behind the stage. The handle turned halfway, then stopped. I pulled harder. Something heavy scraped against the other side. A prop trunk. Someone had pushed it in front of the door. That was when I heard a click from the sound booth. Not loud, just one clean switch click. The spotlight above center stage got brighter. The stage microphone gave another sharp hiss feedback. I looked back at the curtain. It moved again. This time, it didn't flutter. It pulled inward, like fingers were gripping the fabric from behind. I saw the bottom edge lift, and under it were shoes. Men's shoes, still pointed toward me. My phone vibrated in my hand. The message I had tried to send my mom had failed. No service. Then the auditorium speakers crackled. The same voice whispered, "You missed your cue." I didn't run across the stage. That was what he wanted. I went up the narrow stairs to the sound booth and locked myself inside. There was an internal phone on the desk. I dialed 911 and crouched below the window. From the booth, I could see the whole stage. The curtain opened 1 inch, a hand rested on the red fabric. Then the small booth microphone on the desk clicked on behind me. Breathing filled the tiny room. Slow, close, I turned around. A script page was taped to the outside of the booth glass. The first line said, "Claire locks herself in the sound booth." The second line said, "He waits outside." Someone had written the next part before I lived it. I kept the phone pressed to my ear. The 911 operator told me to stay low and keep quiet. Then I heard footsteps on the stairs outside the booth. Slow, 1 step, then another, then another. I reached up and turned off the booth light. The room went dark except for the small glow from the soundboard. The doorknob to the booth moved once slowly. I covered my mouth with my hand. That was when I remembered the maintenance door. It was behind a stack of old light stands. Miss Avery had complained about it, getting stuck all year. I crawled to it, pulled the handle, and shoved my shoulder into the frame. It opened. Just enough I slipped through into the back hallway and ran toward the loading dock. Mr. Keller, the custodian, was outside with trash bags. When I came out, He got me away from the building and called police. They searched the theater. No one was behind the curtain, but the stage microphone was still on. So was the booth microphone. The prop trunk was still blocking the side exit. The auditorium camera had been off for 9 minutes. A backstage key was missing from the janitor closet, and both script pages were real. Miss Avery swore she had never written those lines. 3 days later, she returned my binder. Every page looked normal, except the last one. At the bottom, in tiny typed letters, it said, "Claire exits through the audience." Under that was one more line, "Have followed." I still have that page. I keep it folded inside the back pocket of my script binder. That line was never in the play, but it was typed under my name.